Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to your weekly dose of NFL, guys. Big day today, Tuesday. It's about 1:30 right now as I'm recording this. It is cut day in the NFL, guys. I want to react to some of the major cuts we've seen and then just random Instagram posts like I always do. The first one, Cam Newton, released by the New England Patriots. Mac Jones officially the starter. And quite honestly, I absolutely love this move by the Patriots and Bill Belichick. If you think Mac Jones, who you invested a first-round pick in, is ready to start him. And you know what? With Cam Newton, I still think Cam Newton can be a serviceable quarterback. I'd be interested in him possibly going to a team like Denver. I know they kind of have a quarterback mess. Teddy Bridgewater played well in the preseason, so did Drew Lock. But Cam Newton, he could definitely be a backup in this league. But, Bill Belichick, by releasing Cam Newton, he's saying there is no argument here. The second Mac Jones, even if they decided to start Mac Jones but kept Cam Newton, the second Mac Jones throws his first interception, people would be like, oh, start Cam. This eliminates that. He's saying we're going with Mac Jones. We're letting this kid get reps early on. And you can kind of see the different philosophies between a team like New England and a team like Chicago, to where, it felt like if Andy Dalton threw 50 interceptions in the preseason, no matter what, they were starting him week one. And I can understand not wanting to throw Justin Fields into the fire right away, but you just see the different philosophies where Bill Belichick lets it play out. You have Cam Newton. If Mac Jones, if you don't think he's ready, start Cam Newton week one. If Mac Jones is ready, say, you know what, Cam Newton, you definitely deserve to be on a roster, but we're going with Mac Jones, and we don't want there to be a distraction. He's going to be our starter. If he throws an interception, he's still our starter. We invested a first-round pick into him. We think he's ready. The difference in philosophy is really fascinating to me. And then obviously Andy Dalton having a terrible preseason in the Bears and Matt Nagy saying, oh, he's still the starter, whatever. I mean, I understand if you want to do that, but it's just crazy to me, the different philosophies. The other big news today, the Texans not expected to trade Deshaun Watson. Guys, Deshaun Watson is not playing at all this year. And there's a number of reasons why he's not, but the biggest one is normally with situations like this where Deshaun Watson is obviously going through legal issues and he has to sort those out. The best cure for what Deshaun Watson currently is going through is time. You give Deshaun Watson the year off, it's not that they forget about what he did or any of that, but it's just like you give it time and people, they're more forgiving of Deshaun Watson. And obviously the Texans are going to have some major problems trying to trade Deshaun Watson before this, the legal situation gets figured out. You don't want to trade him when he has basically no value because he could be suspended. The Texans, my guess is they're going to hold on to him. He might get placed on the commissioner's exempt list. I really don't know, but I don't expect him to play at all this year. I expect the Texans to, be maybe 4-13, 3-14, the 17-game season. I'm trying to calculate 17 games instead of 16 games. I was going to say 3-13, but we know the 17-game season now. But Deshaun Watson, I expect them to trade Deshaun Watson next offseason, and then Deshaun Watson will probably start then. The Texans will probably pick a quarterback, maybe Spencer Rattler, number 1 overall, but I do not expect Deshaun Watson to be traded or to play at all this year. The Falcons announced that they will keep Josh Rosen. He makes the roster. They literally picked up Josh Rosen last week, and Chosen Rosen is still hanging on by a thread. Take a look at this one. The Lions are waiving a third-year linebacker they selected 43rd overall in the second round just back in 2019. They took him over A.J. Brown and DK Metcalf. Man, if you're a Lions fan, that's so tough. The Cowboys released Ben Denucci. Guys, who remembers Ben Denucci in a Sunday night game at the Eagles last year? One of the most the dude couldn't play the quarterback position at the NFL level. You can just tell, that's a guy who simply should not be playing quarterback in the National Football League. And the Cowboys had to start him due to their injuries. But he gets released. They're going with Cooper Rush now as the backup to Dak Prescott. So that's interesting. Brashard Perryman is gone. Good news for my guy, Amon-Ra St. Brown. We'll have to see what happens there. I would expect Amon-Ra St. Brown, potential fantasy superstar, to kind of start by week 6 or week 7, maybe even a little bit later. But later in the season, Amon-Ra St. Brown, if you're in a 14-team league, he's a really good guy to target. And then the huge news of the weekend, the Ravens. They won again. What did they win? Their 20th preseason game. But at what cost? J.K. Dobbins on injured reserve. There was no optimism. When J.K. Dobbins went down, Like there were reports from Baltimore saying that the best case scenario is he misses like 12 weeks. Like there was literally no optimism. And then, you wait for the tests on Sunday. He gets injured Saturday. Saturday night, everyone's like, he's probably done for the year. Sunday, it's confirmed ACL. J.K. Dobbins out for the year. Terrible. The last big injury, it's tough. Really big hit for Baltimore. They do have a solid running back in Gus Edwards, but still, J.K. Dobbins averaged 6 yards per carry last year. It was limited attempts, but pretty crazy, guys. Now, this is just an interesting food for thought, predicting each team's wide receiver. Now, this is just an interesting food for thought, predicting each team's number one wide receiver in 3 years. If Jacoby Myers is still on the Patriots in 3 years, I'll be shocked. Laviska Shenault, I doubt it. Michael Pittman, no way. Henry Ruggs, that's iffy. Amari Rodgers for the Packers. If that's the case, they're in a big... Look at Tutu Atwell. Oh my goodness. Devontae Adams goes to San Francisco. He probably will leave once Rodgers leaves next year. Kenny Galladay, I highly doubt it in 3 years. Keenan Allen's getting up there in age. Chris Olave. Yeah, Chris Olave is going to be a beast, guys. Jerry Jeudy is going to be a beast. I agree with that. Same with Devontae Smith. If Jarvis Landry is the Browns' number one wide receiver in 3 years, they got major issues. T. Higgins over Jamar Chase. I know people are down on Jamar Chase right now, but come on, guys. Seriously. I thought that was just a little interesting food for thought there. NFL 2021 win projections. People are really high on the Packers, man. I see the Packers maybe winning 10 or 11 games. Maybe. But 13 or more. I know Rodgers had a great year last year. I'm just not seeing it this year. It's going to be Rodgers last year with the Packers. I'm personally not seeing it. So those are just some interesting win tiers. The only two 0-16 teams in NFL history both went undefeated in the preseason. I'm sure a lot of people know that fact, but it still is an amazing fact. I believe the 2008 Lions and the 2017 Browns, both 0-16, both went 4-0 in the preseason. Very interesting. Preseason versus postseason Super Bowl favorite. I thought this was interesting. The Chiefs for the last 3 years have been the preseason Super Bowl favorite, and I don't see it stopping anytime soon. I mean, this year, obviously, they're the Super Bowl favorite. I'm guessing next year they're going to be as well. They have Mahomes. They have such a stacked offense. The defense needs work. But they could go on a run where they're the preseason Super Bowl favorite for multiple years. There's the Patriots. The Packers, I don't remember them being a favorite. And then the Seahawks with the Legion of Boom. That was the year Denver won it. Remember, Von Miller took over that Super Bowl. Here's a J.K. Dobbins liked tweet. He was obviously very pissed he got injured. He liked a tweet that says, "I just don't understand playing starters in the preseason. Can't convince me otherwise." So obviously Dobbins showing some frustration there. NFL award predictions. You take a look at some of the picks. Mahomes is the MVP. Obviously, Mahomes is going to be very, attractive for the MVP considering he didn't win it last year. Offensive Player of the Year. Shouldn't the Offensive Player of the Year also be the MVP? I don't understand that. But, I guess I get it. You want to give it to, a non-quarterback. So I could see McCaffrey or Devontae Adams. I'd probably go McCaffrey. Defensive Player of the Year, Aaron Donald. I'm sure he is the favorite, but, I could see TJ Watt maybe winning it. Myles Garrett, I don't think gets enough sacks to win it. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Najee Harris is a safe bet because he's a running back and he plays in a pretty good offense. He could easily get 1,200 yards. Trevor Lawrence is tough because rookie quarterbacks tend to struggle early. Defensive Rookie of the Year is wide open. Micah Parsons should get a lot of counting stats, a lot of tackles, being a linebacker. I think Micah Parsons was a steal for Dallas. I think him, sitting out a year kind of hurt his stock. He would have been a top 5 pick otherwise. Comeback Player of the Year, Dak is going to be there. I would go Saquon. I think Saquon's going to be phenomenal. He could have easily 1,800 total yards this year or more because it is a 17-game season. And then Coach of the Year, some interesting picks there. Is that the Lions coach? That's not going to happen. No, that ain't going to happen. Quarterback hate meter. Now, this really doesn't make any sense. First thing I saw was the nationally loved who loves Jared Goff? He seems like the most bland quarterback in the NFL, but it says he's nationally loved. I will say people do seem to love Jameis, Mahomes, Joe Burrow, yeah, Fitzmagic, I can see. Nationally hated, Brady. Well, Brady's a lot like LeBron, where he's really hated by a lot of people, but he's also loved by a lot of people. He has a cult following. Lamar Jackson, yeah, people rip on Lamar Jackson. Rodgers, yeah, people do hate Rodgers. hated Dak because he's on the Cowboys. I could see it. Yeah, people dislike Kirk Cousins. He's had some issues. Carson Wentz, I don't think is hated. I think Carson Wentz, if anything, is liked. Jimmy G, I can see. It's funny how Deshaun Watson is not nationally hated, just hated. That's if that shows you the NFL. Jalen Hurts is hated. I don't think Jalen Hurts is hated. Looking at hated a little. I don't think Tua is hated a little. Baker definitely. Zachary Wilson or Zach. People are gonna. I call him Zachary Wilson. I don't know why, but Cam Newton. Cam Newton's not even on a team right now at this point. The Eagles just traded for the Jaguars' backup QB and somehow got better. It's funny. Literally 2 days before they traded him, Urban Meyer said a quote that Gardner Minshew is really pushing Trevor Lawrence, and it was a battle between who was going to start. 2 days later, they trade Gardner Minshew for a conditional 6th-round pick. It's hilarious. That's how the NFL works. It changes so quickly. The last time the Ravens lost the preseason game, DeMarco Murray was coming off his crazy 2,000-yard year. Remember the Cowboys had that absurd offensive line, and Murray was a beast that one year. Jeremy Maclin finished with more yards than DeAndre Hopkins. I'm guessing DeAndre Hopkins was a rookie, though. Detroit was a playoff team. There's the face guarding penalty. Yeah, that wasn't called the pass interference. Kamar Aiken was the leading Baltimore Ravens receiver. But guys, the whole thing with the Ravens is funny. It's like they keep winning these preseason games, but they probably suffered the worst injury of preseason football. But you want to know someone who made sure the Ravens kept their streak of winning 20 straight preseason games? Tyler Huntley. Oh my goodness. 23 of 30, 280 yards, 5 touchdowns. I love when a random dude balls out in a preseason game. They took out Lamar Jackson early in that one, and Tyler Huntley, the former Utah Ute. I love Utah this year, guys, in college. Love them. Football is back when the NFC East gets one total win the entire preseason. Washington 1-2. Philadelphia had a tie. The Giants 0-3, and then Dallas playing the Hall of Fame game 0-4. Not that it matters or anything like that. It was just funny to see that. Edge superlatives. This graph is so stupid. So it has Myles Garrett as the best. I don't know if I would, it's close. Chase Young, he is young, I will say that. It's come on. Kwity Paye, favorite rookie. Kwity Paye in college, all athleticism, no production. All athleticism, no production. Bud Dupree could be an impact guy. I could see that. Danielle Hunter, underrated. Pretty much everyone on Minnesota seems like they're underrated on that defense. Not the defensive player. Wow, they really don't like TJ Watt. I could see Nick Bosa being defensive player of the year. His rookie year was absurd. Fun to watch. That Shaq Barrett, I guess. I don't know. I don't even know why I screenshotted that. 2017 redraft. The 2017 draft was loaded. It's only like 4 years later, and look at this. Mahomes, Watson, Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, Kamara, George Kittle, Tre'Davious White, Humphrey, Jamal Adams, Marshawn Lattimore. It's just that draft class was so loaded. I just had to take a screenshot. I didn't realize how good that draft class was. Here's some funny facts. In 2012, when J.J. Watt won his first Defensive Player of the Year, he had 10 more tackles for loss than Khalil Mack has had in the past 3 seasons combined. Nothing against Khalil Mack. They double team him a lot. But in a single season, J.J. Watt had 10 more tackles for loss than Khalil Mack has had in the past 3 seasons combined. That's a mind-blowing fact. Gus Bradley posted an abysmal .226 win percentage in the 4 seasons he was head coach of the Jags. How did he make it 4 years? Despite this, the Jags never finished last in the division when he coached a full season. That would suck. That is literally the worst. You want to know why that's the worst? Because you're stuck in this weird purgatory where you're not bad enough to get the number 1 overall pick and get that franchise quarterback, but you're still really bad. As a Browns fan, we went through that thing where we were 4-12. We got the number 3 overall pick. We drafted Trent Richardson. We missed out on Andrew Luck. You go 5-11, then you go 3-13. Then finally, back-to-back years, 2017, 2018. I actively rooted against the Browns to lose, absolutely, because I wanted the number 1 overall pick. The Browns went 1-15, drafted Myles Garrett, went 0-16, drafted Baker Mayfield. The rest is history. Now the Browns are good. That is the worst thing. When your team is bad, but you're not bad enough to get the number 1 overall pick. Now the Jaguars, obviously last year, they decided to fully tank, and they got Trevor Lawrence. So we'll see how that works out for them. 2021 MVP predictions. I could definitely see Stafford winning the MVP. The storyline is there. He goes to McVay. He was stuck in Detroit his entire career. He definitely has the talent to win it. The favorite, I would definitely say, is Mahomes. I don't see Carson Wentz as a dark horse to win it at this point. I would be very surprised if Wentz was in the MVP race. Although I do think Wentz should have won an MVP over Tom Brady. I believe that was the 2017 season when he tore his ACL against the Rams in the Coliseum. Eagles fans will remember that. He was absurd. He was better than Brady, but because he got injured like week 16, they didn't give it to him. I don't know why about that. NFL season predictions. Oh, yeah, the reason I screenshotted this, they hate the Saints, dude. There's no way the Saints go 4-13. That really surprised me. And then also, a little bit surprising, a lot of people seem to be picking Dallas to win the division. They have Dallas at 7-9-1. I would think Dallas was probably going to win the division, although I really do like the Eagles' nucleus they're building. You look at the Eagles, if Jalen Hurts, number one, the Eagles have a lot of options, but if Jalen Hurts turns into a franchise quarterback, or at least a really good quarterback, you've already got Devontae Smith, you've already got some weapons, you've got Dallas Goedert, you've got Miles Sanders, Kenneth Gainwell has showed out really well. How about the kid from TCU, former first-round pick last year? I think the Eagles are set up, and they have 3 first-round picks this coming year. The Eagles made one of the great trades in the draft where they traded back and were still able to get Devontae Smith. So the Eagles are coming, but I do have Dallas winning that division. The West is going to be really tough. Yeah, the West is a really competitive division. The North, yeah, the Packers are probably winning it. I mean, maybe the Vikings would be the only team. I just don't know with Chicago. It's such a question mark. Like, when is Fields going to start? I don't even know. Who you got winning this division? What the? That's not even a real. Oh, that's. I just went through a mind. I just went through a mind orgasm. I'm trying to understand. So Carolina, you've got the Chargers, Arizona. I guess maybe Arizona to win that division. That was weird. Oh my goodness, guys. I got a headache now. But guys, that is going to do it for this week's edition of your weekly dose of NFL. The final cuts happening, we'll have to see. It's currently 1:30, so there's probably going to be a few more big cuts. But Cam Newton is gone. They're officially going with Mac Jones as their starter. J.K. Dobbins out for the year now. Ouch. And then we've also got the Texans probably not trading Deshaun Watson. My expectation, Deshaun Watson doesn't play at all this year. The Texans wait until his situation is less muddled to trade him. On next week's edition of, your weekly dose of NFL, we will talk about the week 1 games. Obviously, preseason is over. We get a week off here, and then week 1 ramps up, guys, and there are some phenomenal matchups. How about that Browns-Chiefs 4:25 game on CBS? I'm so excited for the NFL, guys. That is going to do it for this video. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.